Today, we will be talking about the three different properties of logarithms: product, quotient, and power properties. The first one we're talking about is the product property. The equation for this is log base A times uv equals log base A times u plus log base A times v. Notice that the log A on the left equals the log A's on the right, the u on the left equals the u on the right, and the v equals the v on the right. Now let's try an example. The property will be displayed at the top. The example is log y plus log 4. Since there's no specific number with the logs, we're going to assume this is 10. The format of this example is the same as the format on the right side of the property at the top. So we need to simplify it to the form on the left. Let's get started. We know that the y in the example equals the u in the property, and the 4 in the example equals the v in the property. And our log base 10, substituting for the log base a variable, is simply just going to be written as log for this example. Now that we have all our variables, let's simplify this to the form on the left. Our log base a, as I said before, is just going to be written as log, which we multiply times uv, which we already know is y times 4. Or, more simply put, just 4y. This is as far as we can simplify it, so you're done! Now let's move on to our second property of logarithms, the quotient property. The equation for this is log base a times u divided by v equals log base a times u minus log base a times v. Once again, the log base a on the left matches up to the log base a's on the right, the u matches up to the u on the right, and the v matches up to the v on the right. Let's try an example. Once again, the original equation will be displayed at the top. Our example is log base 4 times z minus log base 4 times y. This is also in the format on the right, so it needs to be simplified to the form on the left. Don't forget that minus sign in the middle. As we saw with our first problem, our z is in place of the u variable, and the y is in place of the v variable. Our log base 4 is in place of the log base a variable. Now that we have our log a, u, and v, we can change it to the format on the left. So we'll write out log base 4 times z divided by y. That's all we can do, so we're done with this problem. Next, we're moving on to the third and final property, the power property. The equation for this is log base a times u to the n power equals n times log base a times u. As we remember from the first two property equations, the log base a's match up, the u's match up, and the n's match up. Let's try an example. The base equation is posted at the top. Our example is log base 3 times x plus 4 squared. This equation is in the format on the left, so it needs to be changed to the format on the right. From the format on the left, we know that our n is 2, our a is 3, and our u is x plus 4. Now that we have all three variables, we can change it to the form on the right. So we'll write n, which is 2, times log base 3, times u, which is x plus 4. That's all we can do, so we're done with the power property. Today, we've learned about three different properties: the product, quotient, and power properties. Yay, good for you. Now let's review a little bit. Once again, the product property is log base a times uv equals log base a times u plus log base a times v. The quotient property is log base a times u divided by v equals log base a times u minus log base a times v. And the power property, which is log base a times u to the n power equals n times log base a times u. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Today,